So guys, I've owned the brand new iPhone 16 Pro Max now for over 10 days, and I want to give you my 10-day review with this iPhone because, believe it or not, I absolutely love this iPhone. I think it's a great improvement over the iPhone 15 Pro Max from last year and all the other iPhones, and I want to give you all my reasons why in this 10-day review. So we're going to cover over everything from the display to the actual build, the performance, the battery life, the cameras, and so much more. But first of all, let's get started with the design and build quality. Now, the iPhone 16 Pro Max design is very similar to the last kind of 5 generations of iPhones. Apple have retained the kind of flat edges on this iPhone, and then obviously on the rear here we have the kind of 3 camera setup. What really hasn't changed whatsoever. We have the LiDAR sensor, we have the flash, and then we have the 3 different camera lenses that we'll talk a little bit more detail in later on. The actual phone is made out of titanium, again, just like the iPhone 15 Pro models were. But yet, this design is slightly bigger than last year's iPhone 15 Pro Max, and in fact, all the other Pro Maxes that have been out there. But to be deadly honest, holding it in my hand here, it doesn't actually feel much different to the normal sort of iPhone 15 Pro Max, the 14 Pro Max before that. It really just feels the same. Apple have done a great job here in actually giving us a larger display in this phone now, 6.9 inches, but the actual body itself, holding it in your hand, doesn't feel that much different to the previous models that we've had in the past. The only main difference that you will notice with this iPhone is the brand new capture button right here, which allows you to do a load of photography kind of tricks and also some bits and pieces with Apple Intelligence that I'll talk about a little bit later on in this video. But apart from that, it's the same familiar what we've had with an iPhone, like I said, for the last sort of 5 generations. And to be honest, a lot of people are getting confused now, you know, which iPhone you've got, especially if you've got like a black color like you have right here, of which generation you actually have. And I do think that it is time for Apple to, you know, update the design. So maybe with the iPhone 17, we will get that. But next of all though, let me tell you a few differences about the actual screen. So like I already mentioned in the design and the build quality, the screen is larger. It's now a 6.9 inch display inside of it instead of the 6.7 inch that we've had before. And the way Apple have done this is, like I said, they've made the phone ever so slightly bigger, but the other way they've done this is actually made the bezels around the edge of the phone even smaller than the iPhone 15 Pro Max. And remember, with the iPhone 15 Pro Max, they actually made them even smaller on that phone too. So this is really, really great to see that literally it's like having a sheet of glass here. Something what Apple have always envisioned and having, that you just have a full screen on the front of a device, and Apple are getting really, really super close to that now, especially with the iPhone 16 Pro Max. Again, the screen technology behind this is OLED, and we're getting about 460 pixels per inch, so we're getting a really, really sharp image, but the brightness only goes up to 2000 nits. Now, 2000 nits is still very, very good, and for me, over the last 10 days, this has been more than enough, either in the dark or daylight, but there are other competitors out there who actually do have brighter displays inside of their smartphones than their flagship ones. So yeah, you know, Apple do need to kind of maybe increase this next year with the iPhone 17 models. But overall, one of the things I do love about this phone is that it can actually go all the way down to 1 nit of brightness, what is actually quite helpful, especially in the dark if you just don't want to disturb, you know, your partner next to you. And I've actually found that quite good to actually have that. And another question a lot of people have been asking about the display, being that it's 6.9 inches instead of 6.7 inches, do I actually notice the difference? And I'm going to be deadly honest, I haven't really. I still absolutely love the display, but really I have not noticed that I have actually a larger sort of canvas to actually watch any footage on it, mainly because quite a lot of footage comes up kind of square looking and things like this, you know, bits of pieces are cut off. But to be honest, 0.2 of an inch is really nothing at all. And another question that a lot of people have been asking about the display is that 0.2 of an inch, does it make a big difference in the actual size? Instead of being 6.7 inches to 6.9 inches, watching video and content on it and looking at everything, has it really made a difference? And I'm going to say really it hasn't. To be deadly honest, I've not noticed at all that I've switched over from an iPhone 15 Pro Max to an iPhone 16 Pro Max and actually noticed a big difference in the screen size. I don't have many other reviewers are thinking the same. Well, if you own a 16 Pro Max, if you think the same there, but from my point of view over the last 10 days, really I have not noticed that I have a larger display there. Not really this is a negative or a positive, but like I said, I just haven't really noticed it whatsoever. So then guys, if you've just got yourself a brand new iPhone 16 Pro Max, for example, you should check out these cases that have come out from Touras. These are the brand new O-Stand 360 cases. And you're probably asking, why are they 360 cases? Well, let me give you a quick demo here. Have you ever been in that situation where you've had to have a phone stand and then also have your phone in a case and they have to be two separate things? Well, the great news is Touras sorts this out for you with their brand new O-Stand case. Let me show you here. You can pull out this 360 stable stand, as you can see right here, and twist it into any position that you want to have it in. So this means you could have your phone standing upright like this, or twist it round 90 degrees and actually watch some great content from your favorite YouTuber out there. Or what you could even do is pull out the ring just a little bit, put your fingers through, and there we have it. You've got yourself an extra grip here on your hand while using it, so it gives you that bit more peace of mind that you know you're not going to drop it. And talk about dropping this phone in this case, if you were to do that, well, the great news is Touras on these O-Stand 360 cases offer 12-foot drop-proof protection. And you're probably also wondering, why is it also a ring on the back? Well, that's a good question. Because this ring can also be used as a MagSafe magnet to charge up your phone. And as you can see here, the magnets are super strong just to hold onto the MagSafe charger. The ring itself also can be twisted round into multiple positions. And if you want to check out these new O-Stand cases from Touras, what I've shown you, make sure you check out all the details that are in the description below of this video, and I'll be linking to these products from that. But moving on from that, what about performance and software? Well, doing Geekbench scores, like you can see right here with Geekbench 6, you can see that obviously it is way faster than, say, the iPhone 15 Pro Max. And the same also for 3D graphics. You can see right here that the actual benchmark, so obviously it's way ahead here with the A18 Pro inside of it. But for day-to-day usage, have I actually noticed any more performance gain? And the short answer is no. The great thing I love about, say, having an iPhone, if you own one, say an iPhone 14 Pro Max, a 15 Pro Max, or say an iPhone 16 Pro Max like this one here, you're really not going to notice any slowdown. And I have not noticed any slowdown whatsoever with the performance of this iPhone. It's been super fast, flicking around apps and actually using everything that I want to use. And one of the biggest gains I probably would say I have seen is a definite improvement in battery life that I will talk about later on. And this is the great thing about the A18 Pro. Apple even said this, that obviously the performance is definitely faster, but can do it at less power, what is really, really great to see. But then for actually using the software wise, what about this? Well, I'm actually going to be honest with you, I've cheated a little bit here. I'm actually using iOS 18.1, the public beta on here, the latest version that's out at the time of making this video, was almost ready for a stable release. And I have really, really enjoyed this. I've actually loved using Apple Intelligence on this with the Siri, and I've also loved using things like, say, the writing tools, what have been really, really helpful to change text and summarize things. And I've also really loved the ability that I can get rid of bits and pieces in the cleanup tool in my Photos app too. But I think one of the downsides is that if you were still on iOS 18, you wouldn't have any of these features. And for that, it would still feel like the exact same experience as, say, if you own, say, an iPhone 14 Pro Max. You're not really going to get anything else there. So software-wise, there's no big improvements unless you upgrade to iOS 18.1. And I would say this now, if you're thinking of getting yourself an iPhone right now, obviously iOS 18.1 is just around the corner and you will be getting all those extra goodies there. And I definitely think this gives this iPhone a great upgrade, especially if you have that. But then moving on, what about the cameras on this iPhone? How good are they at taking photography and how good are they at taking videos too? Well, first of all, I took my iPhone 16 Pro Max out and I took a few samples, as you can see right here. You can see here with the 0.5 zoom capability at the 48 megapixel new lens what's inside of this iPhone, that is doing a really, really great job here. And then even if I increase this up to now the standard wide time zoom, this is still a really crystal clear picture, what you can see here. Then the 2x zoom, you can see that this is really, really clear as well. It's doing a great job here, cutting into that same kind of wide sensor that we have, the 48 megapixel one. But then if I press it up to the 5x zoom, what you can see right here, this here is the teleprism zoom, and it's doing a fantastic job here. And then just in case you wanted to do this too, you can actually push this all the way up to a 25x zoom capability. And this is where it starts to get a little bit fuzzy, the picture, but you can still just make out some bits and pieces. But personally, I wouldn't recommend going up, say, more than 10x zoom capability on this. But then how about nighttime photography? How good is this? Well, the iPhone does a great job, as you can see right here. The only thing I would comment is obviously that it was far darker than what this picture is actually showing. It's showing it as far lighter than it really was outside. So that's one thing I want to comment on. And also, this is the 5x teleprism capability, what you can see, a 5x zoom, and that's doing a really good job too. But then moving over to the selfie camera on the front, how good is this? Well, this does a fantastic job, as you can see right here. This is the same sort of 12 megapixel photo or lens and sensor setup we've had ever since the iPhone 14 Pro Max. So no differences there. And you can see it's doing a really great job at doing a portrait picture. But then next of all, let me show you what the rear cameras taking videos is like. So now we're going to record at 60 frames per second at 4K. And we're going to zoom right in. We're at 0.5 here on video. We're now at 1x, 2x. Oh, bit too fast. 5x. And now we can stretch it all the way up to the maximum 15x zoom, what you can do on video here. As an extra, Apple also used this capture button that's at the top here, and obviously with those videos I've just done there, I actually used that zoom capability here with this button. Now the thing what I have with this button, it is really, really cool, but from my point of view, I'm seeing it as a bit of a gimmick from what I use it for. Now the main reason why I say that is I've got so used to using the pinch to zoom capability on the screen of the iPhone that, you know, I've got my head into that ever since, say, the iPhone that I first ever owned, what was the iPhone 3G, what was the second generation, that I've got used to pinching with that capability that, you know, to turn now to actually start using a button instead, it's going to take me a while to actually sort of switch out of that habit and start using this instead. I can see this is going to be really, really useful for other kind of creators out there and other things, but it's going to take a while, especially if I want to start using it, to actually get used to this actual button. Don't get me wrong, I think some of the capabilities what this button can also do, so for example, opening up your camera instantly, it's really, really great. I don't have to assign this to the action button, or I don't actually have to have this on the front screen anymore. But what I would actually say is that the thing I'm most looking forward to is the actual lookup tool. It's not available just yet, where you can actually use the capture button to actually look at an item or a product or a shop or name and then actually get information about it. And that's going to be really, really cool when that does come out later on with an iOS 18 update or feature drop update when we get that in the future. But moving on, let's talk about battery life and charging and start out about the battery life. And to be honest with me, it's been absolutely perfect. Mainly, I guess, because I've got a brand new iPhone here. So, yeah, the battery health is at 100% with that. But I have noticed compared to, say, my iPhone 15 Pro Max this time last year, that I actually am having a little bit more battery life inside of it. Normally for me, I'd almost got down to, say, 30% sort of battery life with my iPhone 15 Pro Max if I didn't charge it throughout the day and did kind of a normal day usage. Whereas with this phone now, I'm actually seeing myself getting about, say, 42%. So, you know, a little bit more there. What is quite useful to have, but obviously it's not a massive, huge gain in battery life that I'm still going to have to charge it up overnight. But it is good to see that we're getting close to, say, a 50% usage of battery life in a day. Well, that's for me, especially, you know, if I'm awake for, say, 16 hours, that you can get down to that was really, really good. But I think one of the main benefits I will definitely say is going to be really useful is to do with the actual charging capabilities, especially now that Apple have actually upped the charging capabilities, definitely in MagSafe. And I actually made a video about this, checking this out, and this really, really has helped out my day to actually boost up my battery life really, really fast. And the same with USB-C charging. It is slightly faster than, say, what I had with the iPhone 15 Pro Max, but I have actually noticed the difference that this phone does charge up definitely faster. So, you know, if you do have a spare sort of 10 minutes to spare to chuck this on a charger and your battery charge is, say, at 30% battery, you could easily get up in 10 minutes up to into the 40s or late 40s and give you that extra bit of boost even in a 10-minute stint, what is really, really great to see from Apple this time round. But then moving along then to pricing and value. Well, personally, in my opinion, I think the iPhone 16 Pro Max, especially out of all the flagship out there, does give you really good value. And before you go, what? The main reason why I want to say this is because the iPhone 16 Pro Max technically has not increased its price whatsoever over the years, especially in US dollars. If you go all the way back to even say the iPhone 13 Pro Max, the 256GB model back then cost you $1,199 US dollars. That is the same price as the 15 Pro Max that we have right now for the 256GB model. The price hasn't changed whatsoever for that second sort of layer sort of storage. Apple have got rid of the first sort of tier storage for the 16 Pro Max and had the same with the 15 Pro Max, and the price, like I said, has technically stayed the same. Now obviously depending on where you are in the world, you know, like here in the UK or in other parts of Europe and other parts of, you know, Asia, Africa, wherever, obviously depending on how much your currency is toward the US dollar does actually reflect on the actual price. So this could be more or it could be less, and especially also with import fees and taxes and things like this too, this can actually affect it. But overall in US dollars, what Apple are concentrating, because they're a US company, the actual price hasn't changed, and this is really, really great to see. But what I would actually say with that though, for the value of this iPhone, it is really, really great. And I'd say with Apple Intelligence definitely coming out around the corner, this is really going to help out this iPhone. And if it weren't getting Apple Intelligence on it, then obviously, yeah, I'd say it's a bit of a FUD sort of phone, and I'd be telling people to possibly not even look at this phone. I'd say stick with an iPhone 15 Pro Max or 14 Pro Max or even a 13 Pro Max. But Apple Intelligence definitely pushes this phone out even further there, and it is definitely a great phone, and that is why I absolutely love it. But that is my final verdict on it. I love this new iPhone. I think it's great, and that is my opinion. What are your thoughts on the new iPhone 16 Pro Max? Do you like the idea of it? Do you own one? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And with that as well, guys, it's time to wrap up this video. So if you have enjoyed watching it, please do press the like button. Also, if you want to hear the latest Apple news, reviews, and comparisons, make sure you subscribe to this channel and also hit that notification bell. Until next time, guys, I'll see you really soon. Take care. Bye bye.